Disclaimer before this starts, I didn't want to put anything crazy in the title, but if you don't want any spoilers, you want to be surprised, then I highly suggest you don't check out this video. It's not going to spoil everything scene for scene, word for word, bar for bar, but it does reveal a lot of information, basically confirming what will and what won't happen, a lot of clues, details, and explanations for what's going to take place. So once again, if you want to be surprised, you have your own predictions, I highly suggest you skip this video. Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. So a little over a week ago, or just about a week ago, all the episode titles and descriptions were finally leaked and revealed just how they were for Power Book 2 Ghost, that last and final season. So we have all the episode titles and descriptions, and we know for a fact they are valid. Now, unlike Power Book Ghost, we have all 10 for Raising Kanan season 4, and with that we get a lot of information on two major deaths and interesting tidbits and sneak peeks of what we can expect of all the other characters going forward in season 4, how we can see things turning out. We can connect some of the scenes from the original trailers, from the teasers and all that, to what we see and read in these exclusive leaked titles and descriptions. So in this video, we're gonna go ahead and break them all down, give our predictions, and connect these descriptions to what we're gonna see later on in the season. So as usual, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and predictions based on what these descriptions say, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So jumping right into it, we're gonna start with episode 3, obviously, because we're already 2 episodes in. Episode 403, Bygones. As Rock and Marvin face the aftermath of Unique's violent clandestine comeback, Lou manages his new artist, Kanan gets through to his grandmother, and Jukebox embraces her sexuality. Now, for the first part that talks about Unique and his comeback and the violent nature of it, obviously we can connect this back to what we just seen at the end of episode 2 with him taking out Rock and them lawyer because he thought he was involved with Rock. He's starting his get back, and as we can see going into the next episode, he's about to ramp it up. We see him go attack the owners of the Chinese shop that we know Rock and Marvin are running now, saying, hey, y'all forgot about me real quick.
I forgot about me real fucking fast.
Then on top of that, we see him attack one of the storage units where they're moving product and things out of, basically getting Rock and them in trouble, as we hear her talking to the people she's doing business with, they're telling her, hey, ever since we started working with you, all our people are getting attacked.
Like those of us in business with you are now being attacked.
So he's putting the pressure on her to do something about it, and I think this is when it's finally going to get revealed that, of course, he is alive. We also do know he's going to target Kanan. We see him go to his apartment, seeing as Kanan is the most important thing to Rock. We already know Crystal is going to bump into him and see him and everything like that.
I'm just safe in this apartment, Kanan. There was some fucked up looking dude coming out the building today. His face was all scarred and scary.
So that's something to look out for in episode 3 as well. Now, looking at the Lou and Jukebox part of this description, Lou, obviously, we just saw in episode 2, he got B-Rilla out of jail. He's probably just gonna make sure he keeps him out of the street shit, doesn't go back to that life, and focus on the music. And Jukebox, obviously, we saw in the last episode, she decided to leave the army, even though she was good at it, because they're very conservative. She's a lesbian. She didn't want to get involved in that. She wanted to be herself. So obviously, I think this is what that is referring to, her just having a chance to be herself. Moving on to episode 404, The Way We Were. Unique forms an unlikely alliance in his vendetta against Rock while she inches closer to a new drug enterprise. Kanan takes advice from Snaps and Pop, and Jukebox's new friendship leads to a violent encounter. Now, once again for Unique, this unlikely alliance, I'm not sure who it is. I feel like it could be a few people. Obviously, Stefano, he was working for him before Rock went and took that spot, and we know in the last episode, Marvin killed someone he wasn't supposed to for Stefano, so he might have a gripe with that. Also, I believe the guy name is Kwame, the Korean guy that once again Unique was working with first before Rock stepped up and took that spot. And we know that guy raised Rock's prices in episode 2. So they might have some friction right then and there, but it does say an unlikely alliance. So that leaves the door open for Kanan for the people who still believe Unique is Breeze. If you still want to run with that narrative, I guess this kind of can imply what it's saying, like an unlikely alliance, just like Ronnie and Kanan was kind of unlikely. So we'll have to see how that goes, especially with him attacking Kanan's apartment in episode 3. Maybe they do have a conversation towards the end and work something out, because we know Rock and Kanan still currently aren't on the same page. Now, the next part talking about Kanan takes advice from Snaps and Pop. We saw clips of this already within other trailers where they asking him how does he want to be seen, and he talking about as his own man, not who his mother is or was or anything like that.
You gotta understand, Kanan, that how people see you now is how they're gonna see you forever.
Want them to see me as me, not who my mother is.
So he's already talking about and looking to go independent. We see that as well when he goes to Stefano behind Rock's back, and Stefano tells him, hey, your mother don't even know you're here. You're lucky you have a mother who loves you.
I work with your mother, kid, not you. Kid. Thank your lucky stars you got a mother who loves you.
So he's going to be trying to make moves on his own, which can lead into him and Unique being that unlikely alliance like they say. And last but not least, to talk about Jukebox, new friendship leads to a violent encounter. We do see multiple scenes of Jukebox in trailers with guns. One Marvin give her, one when her and Kanan goes on a mission that I think lines up with another description we get later. And then we also see her pointing a gun at someone, and I think she possibly pulls the trigger in this scene, as we do get another scene of her and Marvin driving away in a car. It looks like there's blood everywhere, but once again this can match up to another scene as well, so we're just gonna have to wait and see till we get more teasers and clues to see what this friendship and violent encounter will be. On to episode 405, The Nail That Sticks Up. Rock and Marvin navigate a dwindling supply of product while Lou and Imani scout artists together. Joyce's condition worsens. Famous's mother desperately tries to find him. For this one, it's all pretty interesting. Obviously, the Rock and Marvin one, basically Unique probably got the upper hand. He has been planning out this revenge for so long. He knows their business inside and out. With Quan already questionable about Rock, and with Marvin doing the shit I just said to Stefano when he told him not to kill the dude, it's very possible and likely that Unique could get them to flip to his side, making Rock and Marvin job to move product to make money even harder. So that's plain to see. Moving on to the Lou Imani situation, scouting artists. We already saw in the trailers that Lou was going to get in another relationship. Obviously this is probably what that is referring to. So this person might be head of AR and into music like him, which makes sense how they got some sort of connection. So that's what it's talking about with them scouting artists together. Joyce's condition worsens. We saw in the flashbacks in episode 1 that it was revealed that of course Kanan's grandmother has kidney cancer, I believe it was, and she doesn't want him to tell the rest of her family, so all of them don't really know. It's just him, and it's just getting worse and worse as it goes, and he's obviously noticing the symptoms get worse and worse. So I think at this point she probably will more than likely die before the end of the season. It's just a matter of, will the family know before it happens? Will he let them know? Will she reveal it? We're just gonna have to wait and see for that. And last but not least, Famous's mother desperately tries to find him. This is interesting. Of course, we haven't seen Famous yet this season. A lot more of the descriptions is gonna talk about him, but for now, where we left off, obviously we know Famous killed Freddie. He was hiding it, keeping it to himself. He made the 411 song. He finally let Kanan know after the police arrested and questioned him about being there the night it happened. They had to let him go. But then when he returned to his mom's house, his mom turned in a gun that matches up to the ballistics of Freddie's murder. And they told him, hey, we could give you self-defense possibly, but you gotta give up power, give up this, give up that, and that's where we left off. We really haven't seen him since, so people are already saying that he might have snitched, he might be in witness protection, and so on and so forth. With the description saying his mother is looking for him as well, I think she would know if he was in witness protection, seeing as she was in the interrogation room with him. So I don't think that is necessarily the case. We're gonna have to wait and see. Episode 406, The Price of Fame. Rock tries to overcome Marvin's poor judgment. Kanan recruits Jukebox to help him get justice for his friend. Unique assembles his final pieces of his plan. The Rock Marvin situation, this is hard to tell. I think it's more of Marvin crashing out. Once again, ever since like Gerald betrayed him last season, it seems like this season he's not taking no shit. He's not really as trustworthy. He used to be the get the job done kind of guy. Like when he killed dude and put him in the wall for Rock, or he killed the homeless man that had the information that Kanan killed Howard, or when he pulled Lou out the fire, he spin back for him, or when he dressed up as the mailman for Stefano and killed the old fat white nigga. But he usually is smarter moving, and he's the one people rely on when shit need to get done. But it looks like this season he's starting to slip, and I think his slips is gonna reflect back on Rock and the rest of the Thomas family to a point where they might get an outcome. They might lose a member of the family. I'm gonna just say a death might be coming, and a few more of the descriptions kind of tease or indicate that. We're gonna get into that soon, but Marvin's mistakes this season is finally gonna catch up with him. Moving on to Kanan recruiting Jukebox to help him get justice for his friend. This is leaning towards possibly Famous being dead. Justice for his friend, the way that that's phrased and said, is very interesting. Also, we got to look at the fact that we do see a picture of Kanan at a gravesite. Now, I'll be absolutely honest. This could be Famous. This could be his dad, Howard, who was killed at the end of season 3. This could be his grandmother, Joyce. Like I just said, I expect her to die this season. This could be a lot of people. But the fact that this picture of Kanan at this gravesite, it's a leaked picture. It's not something we've seen in any trailer, teaser, or anything like that. So it means it's more than likely gonna happen in the second half of the season. And if that is the case, with the name of the episode being The Price of Fame, so that's something to look forward to. People believe he's gonna die for two main reasons that kind of connect at this point. One, dealing with the new season 4 trailer with Stefano saying the saying or the expression famous last words.
Famous last words.
A lot of people find this interesting because we already don't see Famous at all within the trailers, and then with everything I just explained about his current situation, him being possibly going to jail, possibly snitching, anything like that, how that could come into effect on what happens to him within season 4. But then when you connect that back to the original Power, a lot of people talk about the fact that Famous' real name is Sean. Of course, we know Kanan has his own son, and he goes on to name him Sean in the original Power. So a lot of people feel like something tragic had to happen to Famous in the past. This was a hard debt that Kanan felt, and that this was led him to name his son after him. I think that would ultimately make a lot of sense. And if Famous was gonna die anyway, at any time, I guess I could say, it would be within season 4 or 5 of Raising Kanan. Also, the fact that we saw scenes of Jukebox and Kanan working together, and it makes sense because we hear Kanan in one of the trailers say, "You want to make some extra money? Get me some information."
I want to make some real loot. Get me some information.
And maybe Famous is the person he's looking for information on. That's why we see him and Jukebox go to the basketball courts. They're trying to get answers of what actually took place. And last but not least, Unique assembles the final pieces of his plan. I think he's gonna have taken the whole business from Rock and the rest of the Thomas family, and he's gonna have no choice, or the last thing for him to do left is to kill him, to start taking him out. And I think this is when he's gonna initiate this and that. And I do think he possibly gets the chance to eliminate one of them. He had a chance with Lulu early on. He's gonna pull up on Kanan. He's been following Rock around without her noticing, so the opportunities are gonna be there. And I think this is what they're referencing about him assembling the final pieces of his plan. Episode 407 allowed me to reintroduce myself. Unique and his soldiers assume control of the corners and queens, leaving Rock and Marvin in desperate need of more answers and more product. Kanan searches for a missing OC. Now, this is just more of the continued beef between, or continued war between Rock and Unique. I don't know what they mean by Kanan searches for a missing OC. You guys let me know down below. If I'm missing something with that, is that referencing something? I have no idea, or we're gonna find out about that within the show. I don't know, maybe that's just a term I'm not familiar with, but that's really all we got for episode 407. Jumping right into 408, Street Struck. Rock goes on the offensive as Marvin and Lou attempt to contain the escalating situations. Jukebox joins the search for OC, while Kanan looks into his theory on what happened to Famous. This one is interesting for a bunch of different reasons. One, seems like Lou is back in the game, so that means major things have to be happening for him to get re-involved into this, especially because we've seen how fucked up he was about being in the game in season 3, and currently in season 4 we've seen he found his passion with the music, and also he's gonna get a new girl like we mentioned earlier. So him getting re-involved into the situation, a lot of shit is gonna go down for him to feel like he has to help. Next up, Jukebox joins the search for OC. That makes it seem like or sound like it's a person, while episode 407 it didn't really sound like that when it said Kanan was looking for the missing OC, but now it says the search for OC. I don't know. Once again, you guys let me know if you know what that is specifically referencing. And last but not least, Kanan looks into his theory on what happened to Famous. Is this giving us confirmation of his death, or is this telling us that we still don't know where he is or what happened, but Kanan has been able to put a few pieces together and now he's about to go out his way to confirm if it's true. I don't know if this is letting us know that it's already said that he's dead, they found his body or whatever, and then later on we get what actually happened. I don't know. Once again, we're gonna have to wait and see, but this kind of makes me lean towards what I said earlier. A Famous actually did die this season. Something went on, something happened. Honestly, this is the most interesting storyline to me, and I can't wait to find out what actually took place. Episode 409, It's About That Time. Kanan, suspicious of Rock's involvement, investigates Crystal's disappearance. Rock faces fallout from Unique's retaliation and Marvin's mistake. Jukebox revisits her past, and Lou embraces his new path. Now, honestly, all of this could mean a lot of shit. Crystal and her disappearance, I do think Rock will have some involvement in this. Obviously, we know Crystal was pregnant in season 3. We just found out in episode 2 that they did get an abortion. She did want to have the baby, but because of Kanan's relationship with Rock, he didn't want that. Now, it does seem like she fucked with him more than he fucks with her, and maybe over time she doesn't like that he's in the game. You know how when people are young, the things they like in relationships is not the things they want actually in their future. I think she'll start to see that. I mean, even in episode 3, she's already telling him she's scared of living in that apartment after she sees Unique. She wants to move somewhere else. I think maybe as the season continues on and Kanan dives further into what happened to Famous and more into the game, she's gonna notice there's tendencies that she don't like, and maybe she does eventually have a conversation with Rock and she leaves to save herself. This is probably a life she doesn't want to live, and this probably sets Kanan off for good, because him and Rock, it seems like they're never going to be on good terms ever again. On to Rock, the fallout after Unique's retaliation and Marvin's mistake. Honestly, I think at this point it will be the end of Marvin. I've been hinting at it throughout this entire video. I do think episode 9 is more than likely when he dies. I think he's gonna make one mistake too many, and like I said, Unique's retaliation. We did get that scene of Rock crying, and once again we got the scene of Jukebox and Marvin in the car. He looks beat up, he looks bloodied. I think this is the end of the road for him, and a lot of people don't like when I say that, but he's my favorite character too. But I kind of just it kind of just feels like this is that moment that it all just falls apart for the Thomas family. And last but not least, episode 410, Gimme the Weight. A devastated Kanan furiously searches for answers and revenge. Rock attempts the collapse of her business as she and Lou prepare for a possible war with Unique. Now this one could really tie into a number of things. Kanan furious, his revenge once again could be from Famous' dead, Rock getting rid of Crystal. It could be from so much. Also the death of Marvin, like I believe is gonna happen in episode 9. He could be feeling so much in this moment. Another reason I believe Marvin is going to episode 9 is because it's talking about Lou and Rock going to war with Unique. Once again, if Lou is coming back into the game, something tragic has had to happen, and he's working with Rock, and also the fact that Marvin, he more than likely will be the one preparing for the gigantic war. As I mentioned earlier, he is the go-to person when it comes to these situations. So it seems like we're gonna have all the answers to everything, and I still don't think the problems between Unique and everyone else will get resolved. I think this just further pushes season 5 of how everything will kick off with that. I think we'll see Jukebox fully cemented into the game now that Marvin is gone. I think that's gonna be her last straw after everything that she's already been through, that the Nicole, that the for mom, that the Burke, it's just a lot. So I think this will finally submit her into the game, and the Thomas family probably will be fully broken apart, as I feel like Marvin is the character that has the connection with the rest of them more than anybody else. Him and Rock, him and Lou, him and Kanan, and of course him and Juke. He connects well the most with all of them, and once he's gone, everything else would just fall apart. Overall, that's it for this video. This is probably this video was long as fuck. I probably try to edit and cut it down to around 25 minutes max, but you guys give me your thoughts and opinions on everything. Give me your predictions, because like I said at the disclaimer at the beginning, this doesn't mean one-to-one that everything is happening how I said, but it does hint towards a lot of these possibilities. Also, we are able to match it up with a lot of the scenes, but I'm still open to hear your predictions on how you interpreted some of these episode titles, descriptions, and what do you believe is going to happen to a lot of these characters. Also, let me know what storyline do you think is the most interesting. Once again, I think it's the Famous one for me currently. I really want to know what's happening with him. He hasn't been in the show at all. I think second for me is probably a close second is of course Jukebox finally entering the game. I feel like we've been waiting for that for over 4 seasons now. So shit is really heating up, and it looks like by the end of season 4, a lot of fans are gonna be mad, some gonna be happy. It's just gonna be chaos. As usual, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.